Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad. You're watching Firewood at the Furnace, and today we are going to do firewood bundles start to finish. I'm going to answer questions about the whole process as far as resplitting wood goes for bundle size, the process that I use to wrap the wood, my labels, the way I put on my handles, the specifics about how I attach them. I'll show all that to you, and the way that I'm putting them in the stand right now. I hope everyone had a great Memorial Day weekend, took some time to reflect and honor those that have served and are serving our great country. But the bundle sales through this holiday weekend were absolutely insane. Probably the busiest that it's ever been for me as far as bundle sales go. I kind of lost count, but we're right around the 60 bundle mark, just over that one weekend. So that got me thinking about this whole bundle process and how it's evolved from when I started. So I'm going to try to explain every aspect of that to you all today. We'll even talk a little bit about the difference between bundles and bags and my opinion on that. That was kind of a little bit of a topic on the Thirsty Thursday live stream last week. So we'll talk about that and see what we can get done. Stick around. This is where my process starts with making bundle wood. I pull up to a pile that I know is good and dry wood. Most of the wood that I use in my bundles is either ash, soft maple, sassafras. If I have poplar in the yard, I will mix in some poplar. I try not to take any poplar here, but if I get it, that's what I use it for. I mix it in for firewood bundles. So I just pull up to a pile and start loading up the pieces into the trailer to take up to the bundle station at the top of the yard. And what I do is I try to pick the straighter pieces that are going to make nice bundle wood. And when I get up there, if they're a little big for bundle size, I will resplit them. And if I need to resplit them, I have the ram splitter sitting there right now, and that's pretty much the only thing I use that for anymore. But I kind of teased around a little bit in the live stream that I have a goal set to improve my resplitting process. So you'll have to stay tuned for that information, but I'm thinking maybe sometime in the fall I'll be able to show that to you. So let me get the rest of this wood loaded up here, and we'll go up to the bundle station and show you the next step in the process. We're back up at the bundle station now, and I'll give you kind of a look around at how I do this. I back the trailer with the wood right over here to where the bundle station is. The bundler's over there, the ram splitter's right here, and I've got a couple wheelbarrows. So as I split them into bundle size, I will fill the wheelbarrows up. Now what I do, and I kind of set a couple pieces aside here to show you, this is kind of like the ideal bundle wood size that I like to have. And I think this is good because they dry quick, they light easy, and if you're camping, you know, you're probably not going to have a fire going for hours and hours and hours upon end. Some people light a fire in the evening for maybe a couple hours, and then they want it to go out. So great big thick pieces of like boiler wood type stuff, you know, it's going to sit there and smolder all night long. So this is what I like. I do mix in some of the smaller splits like this. I'll put a couple of these pieces to fill some gaps near the top of the bundle to make a nice tight square bundle that won't fall apart, and basically it's kindling for the customer when they start their fire. Now when I get pieces like this size, this is a little bit big for what I like to put in my bundles, so I will resplit this right down the middle and it'll be perfect. So let's fire up the ram splitter and we'll resplit a couple pieces, and then we'll make a few bundles. So I separated a few of these pieces that need to be resplit. I'll set them here on the log lift, and we'll get these resplit real quick and then put them in the bundles. So before we start making bundles here, do you remember my labeling problem a few videos back when I was talking about how to hold the labels that I could get to easily? I had purchased that mailbox, that little black mailbox, actually it's right here, that I talked about mounting to the side of the bundler to get my labels. I was going to use magnets before I decided to permanently mount it. As you can see, that is not mounted. And I'll show you why. A couple of subscribers and commenters on that video had suggested another way of doing it. So this is what I've been doing now, and it's working out fantastic. This is just a carpenter's nail apron that I put around my waist, and I keep the labels in one pocket right here, and I keep a moisture meter in the other pocket. Every once in a while I like to check the wood, especially when I resplit stuff, to make sure that it's good and dry and ready to go. So I keep that in this pocket, and I always have it nearby, close by, and I can get to it very easily. Another cool thing about this apron too, just a little side note, is that this belonged to my father. This was in his garage up at the house. It wasn't being used, so I got my dad's apron around my waist, and he's kind of connected to me in the wood yard, even more so now. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's put some wood in the bundler here. We'll crank out a few bundles real quick. Like I said, when I'm picking this wood out, I like to pick the nice, straight, good looking stuff that makes a nice, tight, squared away looking bundle. And it's very presentable, very professional looking when you do it that way. Some of the knotty stuff, if you get that knotty stuff mixed in there, you'll have voids, and then when you go to pick the bundle up and move it around, things shift and the bundle gets loose and could fall apart. We don't want that. Perfect. Sometimes you just got to look around for the right piece that will fit into your puzzle. I like to finish with a kind of a flat piece on top, something that I can attach my handle to, which I'll show you here in just a minute. Going here, I do 5 wraps. There's 1, 2, 3, and on the 4th pass I insert my label and wrap it 2 more times. Now I don't put the handle on yet. I get all my bundles done. I will load them in the trailer right here. And as the wood empties out of the front of the trailer, the bundles will start building up in the back of the trailer. And then we'll go over and put the handles on. So I'll speed you up now. We'll get these bundles cranked out, and then we'll show you the next part of the process. there's 12 quick bundles that will more than refill the stand. I think there's 3 left in there right now, so we'll put 9 in. We'll have 3 extras, and I'm gonna make some more here after we get done with this video to have some reserve because of the way things have been going here. But you can see I came across a couple other pieces that need to be resplit, so I just throw them aside on the log lift, and the next load of wood that I bring up to do bundles with, I'll resplit those at that time. So let's pull the four-wheeler over to the shed, and I will show you the handles, the nailer, and all the details about the staples that I'm using, and talk to you more about the 1-inch webbing that I'm using as well. So here we are at the new shed, and I wanted to let you all know up front here that I will include links in the description for everything that I'm using here. The contact information, name, and telephone number for the Amish built firewood bundler that I'm using. I'll leave that contact information in the description. All the information on where I have my bundle labels made, I get a lot of questions about those. They're made by Vistaprint.com. You just go on there, and it's kind of like an online designer. You can upload your own pictures and your own text, whatever you want it to say. I'm using the 5x7 postcards. That's what they are. They're a little thicker stock material, so that seems to work out really well. So I'll include a link to the labels. I'll include a link to the wrap that I'm using as well, which reminds me I need to reorder some wrap because I'm down to my last roll. And I'm going to show you the nails, the staples that I use, the stapler, and everything. So what I use is this Banks pneumatic stapler. I got it at Harbor Freight. It was only like 39 bucks. I would like to have, it would be a lot more convenient to have one of the battery powered, like a DeWalt one. But I have the air compressor here, and this works just fine. So I just plug the air hose in. The staples that I'm using, I also got from Harbor Freight, and these are just 1/4 inch crown width, 1 inch long. Make sure you can see that there. Staples from Harbor Freight. They're 18 gauge, and haven't had one fall off yet. And they're very cheap. The handles that I'm using, I showed you a couple videos ago when I was showing you how I cut them. I'll link that here at the top. But I've ran out of the red labels. The red handles. I'm using black now. But I think eventually what I'm going to do is use red for the bundles, firewood bundles, and black for kindling bundles. So you see I did 12 bundles here in the trailer, and the reason I do it this way is so I can lay them all out in one row, and I can go through and put my handles on without having them stacked on top of each other, and then I need to handle them one more time than necessary. So this works out good with 12 bundles. I put 2 staples on each side. I give it a little bit of slack in the middle so that there's room for your hand to go inside of it. And this is where putting that flat piece of wood in the middle on the top of the bundle really comes into play, because you've got a nice flat surface to staple to. And like I said, I haven't had any complaints about the handles. I haven't had any complaints about the nails or the staples coming out. But I might be out of staples right now, and I am, so I'll refill that. And it's working really good. So I am planning to continue doing this for good. I will also include the link in the description for the Amazon link where I buy this 1-inch webbing. You can buy them pre-cut, but it's a little bit more expensive. And I'm all about saving overhead, which leads me to my next point on why I do wrap instead of bags. Bags are considerably more expensive than this wrap. I think I've got, I don't know, maybe 12 cents, 15 cents, somewhere in that area between the handle and the wrap, where the bags are anywhere from, I think, 75 cents to 90 cents a piece. And another thing about the bags is that you can't brand them. I put these labels in here. It's got my logo on it, it's got my information on it, and the bags are kind of generic. They normally just say firewood, which is fine. The bags are definitely presentable, very professional looking, but I don't think that anybody reuses the bags either. I think when they open the firewood bag and they get their firewood out of it, the bag goes in the trash, just like this wrap does. So my theory on it is you save a little bit of money. The wrap is still a very professional, presentable item, I think. And that's just what I choose to do. A lot of people use the bags, and like I said, they're great as well. But just figure out what works best for you, and that's what you should do. Now we'll go load up the stand. Like I said, lots of questions about the labels that I use, where I get them, the wrap that I use, where I get that. So hopefully the title of this video will be Bundle Making Start to Finish. And hopefully that'll kind of consolidate everything into one video and allow people to find the info that they're seeking a little bit easier. Obviously, I always put my labels out in the stand, so if you see me spin them around, that's why. There we go. So that's going to be all for today. I hope that helps some people out and they got to see the process kind of start to finish. I'm going to get back down here in the yard and build up some inventory for these bundles and try to have some in reserve that I'll just put in the shed so I can refill the stand as needed. So like I said, that's all. I hope you all have a great week. Don't forget to check out Friday's video. It's the first Friday of June coming up, so your bonus video will be coming in 2 days. Hope to see you then. Have a great week, everybody.